on Adobe Illustrator. We're going to learn about a new tool, and we're going to learn about a new palette. We're going to learn about the Free Transform tool and the Pathfinder palette. And as a project, we're going to make a sofa. It'll be a simple sofa. File, New, click OK. And the first thing we're going to do is create a rectangle. This is the Free Transform tool, and they call it the Free Transform tool because it does everything that the black pointer tool, the selection tool, does, but it also does a lot more. Just to show you, one of the things that it can do is to skew a shape, like so. It can also perspectivize a shape, make it look like it's disappearing into the distance, or it can simply distort a shape. The Free Transform tool works in conjunction with keystrokes, with keys on your keyboard. By itself, without any modifier keys, it'll only do what the selection tool does. That is, rotate, scale, move. But if we want to distort it, transform it the way I was just demonstrating, we have to use various keys on the keyboard. The trick is to grab a control point, mouse down first, and then press your modifier key. In this case, to skew it, I'm going to hold down the command button. If you're interested to perspectivize it, it's Command Option Shift. Oop. To distort it, it's just Command. So let's go back to that skewing. And this will be one of the pillows for my sofa. And now I'm going to make the thickness of the pillow, and to do that I will just simply make that rectangle, Option drag it to duplicate it, get my Free Transform tool and skew it into place. Ah, a cushion! And I'm going to take all three rectangles and, of course, group them. Now I'm going to duplicate it because this is going to be a sofa big enough for 3 people. Here we go. And I'll group all of these. Object, group. And let's see, I'll make a base. Maybe some legs. Send that to the back. Object, arrange, send to back, and I'll grab both of these. By the way, I didn't tell you about this. Let me group these and duplicate them for the other side of the sofa. to send that to the back. Object, arrange, send to back. There we go. I guess when I grouped it, the part that was in the back came to the front. So far so good. This is what I wanted to tell you. When you want to select more than one object, of course I've already explained in part 1 that you can surround them and select all your objects or all the objects that you want to select, but there's another way of selecting more than one object, and it's to hold down the Shift button when you click on it. Click, Shift click, Shift click, Shift click. And likewise, you can release items by Shift clicking. Shift click, Shift click, Shift click. So remember that. Shift clicking allows you to accumulate objects as part of a selection. Okay, let's make this piece. Get my free transform tool. Put a back. On the sofa. Add some thickness to the back. Get my free transform tool. Not perfect, but not bad. Duplicate that. Not bad at all. Well, now I want to show you about the Pathfinder palette, which is a very cool palette. And what it allows us to do is to combine shapes and make other shapes. Now I'm going to take this whole sofa, I'm going to group it and temporarily just move it out of the way. Now I'm going to make a rectangle. I'm going to rotate it so that it is aligned with the perspective of my sofa. That's pretty good. And now I'm going to make a couple of circles. And I'm going to make the circles, if I can, to be, and don't forget to hold down Shift because we want these to be perfect circles. Try to make them about the same width as this rectangle. Now, here's the Pathfinder palette. I forgot to mention to you that if you are looking for a palette, you don't quite know how to find it, like we do know how to find the swatches palette, and we do know how to find the stroke palette, but I don't know which one of these is the Pathfinder palette. Well, it doesn't matter because you can always go up to the window menu. All the palettes are listed there, and there's the Pathfinder, and it'll come right to the front. These 4 boxes allow you to combine, to to do all kinds of interesting things. Watch. I'll move this out of the way. I don't need that there. But I'm going to select the rectangle and the circle. Shift-click. This allows us to combine shapes. It's called the unifier. And if I click, that is the result. This allows us to subtract one shape from another. In this it will subtract the front shape from the back one. Cool. And these others combine shapes in other ways. You'll play around with them when you get a chance. But let's see if I can get this just to be a shade smaller. So it lines up perfectly. That's pretty close. Yeah, maybe a little touch smaller. There we go. Now I'll select both items and combine them. Ha! I should have made this shorter, but that's okay. What I'll do is I'll make a rectangle. I'll rotate it. And I'll use my Pathfinder palette to shorten this. I'll subtract the front from the back. Ta-da! Now I'll put this in place. Bring it to the front. Group. And I've made a pillow. And I'll duplicate it for the other side of the sofa. Voila! Now I'll select everything, group it, move it back to the middle. Whoa! Gee. Maybe I can lay down on this and take a nap.